Well, the opportunities for the textile and apparel industry in Brazil within the Mercosur and European Union negotiations is to really have access to one, probably the largest market in the world. Brazil is one very large producer of textiles and apparel, known worldwide, but we still have an industry very domestic market driven. Brazil, Mercosur actually, we have agreements within South America with most of the countries, but not a significant agreement elsewhere. Europe would be our first and main agreement outside Mercosur. So that should bring and should foster a lot of businesses, investments, getting business closer together, bringing more jobs, of course, but also development. We would make better products to meet higher standards demands. So that will be a good thing for the Brazilian textile and apparel industry. But Europe as well is a large producer. So we would have to compete in this market with the local producers and also with the international suppliers. So, but lowering the tariffs, making those companies understanding better how these markets work, maybe we can overcome this hurdle. And of course, Europe is a customs union composed by many countries. Not every single one of these countries, they have the same characteristics. There are different population with different tastes, different fashion, different industries. So the Brazilian industry would have to adapt and would have to select really the opportunities, maybe in niche markets or even in specific countries and not the European Union as a whole. So the strategy to enter and maintain the market will be a key element here. Well, the rule of origin is one key element for this negotiation from our point of view, because that's the tool that is going to define how much the product needs to be processed within our areas to be benefited by the agreement, which means that we are looking into how integrated in the global value chain this product needs to meet the criteria in order to get the duty-free access within our markets. And we believe that this tool should be used to foster and to benefit products that really were made within our regions. These can be used to increase investments and to stimulate those business people to look for each other as a supplier and as a final product or as a retailer, and then it would really be defined by the rule of origin. Otherwise, I can use products from elsewhere, from a third country, and incorporate it into my production and send it back to my partner, paying no duties, which means that I will put in my partner a duty-free product that came from elsewhere. Sustainable development is not a problem to our industry, it's a reality to our industry. Brazil has such a high standard in labor, in social, environmental aspects, laws. We have a very strong institutional framework, we have strong enforcement. That's a key element, not to the Brazilian companies going abroad, but for the Brazilian market as a whole. Historically, Brazil has a lot of attention in these areas. In textiles and apparel is not different. We follow high standard rule. We have private compliance systems in place. We have projects to improve social and labor conditions, projects, I mean public and private projects. And we believe that we share these same standards and values with the European community businesses also. But sometimes we feel that we both face competition from abroad that do not follow or do not have the same values that I'm saying about this issue. So I think it's more an issue that we need to work together in the bilateral matter, but also in the multilateral system and the multilateral arena to bring this balance a little bit up and to have fairly competition for ourselves and bringing more fairness to the production in the world as a whole.